impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The poor and the underclass are growing. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
I've got one that can see. Damn it!
That's like pouring perfume on a pig. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
They Live was released back in 1988 from master of horror John Carpenter, based on a 1963 short story by writer Ray Nelson titled 8 O'Clock in the Morning. Carpenter would go on to create one of sci-fi horror's biggest cult classics, a political social commentary parodying the economic policies of then-President Ronald Reagan and the ever-increasing commercialization spreading throughout entertainment and politics. A form of Reaganomics is absolutely still relevant today. This film was way ahead of its time with its message of a dubious future, a future consisting of consumers' eyeballs glued to the television and computer screens, influencing our very opinions and choices, enslaved without the need for chains. However, They Live found little success upon release but flourishes today as a cult film embedded throughout street art and popular culture. The choice of a main actor is often a difficult task. A certain charisma, no matter the role, will always be required to carry your film. I can't imagine They Live without Roddy Piper as Nada, a homeless man looking for work in Los Angeles, California. As a kid, an avid pro wrestling fan, it was always jarring watching Piper, whose over-the-top and boisterous personality always kept you glued to his every word, tone it completely down and play this role more subdued, more of a human being and less of a caricature.
Cow Palace is someplace that I'd be proud to bring my gal. Because obviously if you live in San Francisco and you are going out with gals, obviously they belong in the Cow Palace. I saw one, the only thing she was missing was antlers. She would have been in season, Jack, man. I saw her coming up to me, asking me for a date. I said, man, I'm hot rod. Are you kidding me?
When John placed the glasses on his eyes, he got to see the world that he was now living in. The messages that were being displayed are messages that the Americans during this time were being told by the government. So John Carpenter, his message showing us, the American viewers, we are all being subliminally put into being copacetic and obey, was a realization.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
Watching Nada traverse a seedy Los Angeles as one of the only humans who can see the actual enemy via special sunglasses was always fascinating to me. A lone wanderer, alone in this world controlled by the rich and powerful, a world composed of aliens who seek to manipulate our every decision. Of course, there were others not subjected to the blind tyranny, hidden away from sight, but it was Nada who we would relate with most. Those plotting against the higher forces were labeled terrorists naturally. Nada would soon meet Frank after finding employment at a construction site. Keith David as Frank is an absolute juggernaut in this film. His pairing with Piper just fucking works. Two alpha males always butting heads but ultimately coming together to attempt an end to the secret invasion. Before converting Frank, Nada was lost. Who could he trust? A pivotal moment in this film would plunge humanity further down the shitter was Meg Foster's Holly Thompson, a venomous snake hidden behind ravishing, hypnotizing eyes. With humans in power working alongside the devious, bug-eyed aliens, Nada soon realized this world was fucked as he plummeted and traversed through the chilly air before crashing onto the hard ground. The betrayal of Holly hurt more than the glass bottle to the head. Who can you trust? These aliens from another galaxy aim to exploit Earth and treat it as a third world planet, exhausting our resources before moving on to the next big gig. A galactic international airport serving the entire galaxy makes travel more seamless for our blue friends. These classic aliens just want to own all of our businesses, as stated by Carpenter himself. The creature designs are iconic as fuck. Carpenter wanted the aliens to resemble ghouls as they corrupt humans. They themselves are corruptions of human beings. Surveillance drones and wristwatches that allow teleportation and communication allow the extraterrestrials to always stay one step ahead of humanity. What I really love about these hidden antagonists is that they are still flesh and blood. They die just as easy as humans, allowing their deception to remain crucial. The villains can't afford mistakes, so everything goes to shit. And that's exactly what happens when Nada discovers them. Murder and mayhem ensues as Nada's bad day continues.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
At Wendy's, you never have to ask, where's the beef?
After escaping near death, Nada salvages another pair of sunglasses he kept hidden and is confronted by Frank. Frank doesn't want any trouble. In fact, he only arrived to give Nada his well-earned paycheck from the side job, considering Nada was a wanted man for murder at this point. Nada desperately pleads for Frank to put on the sunglasses. Frank is like, nah son, you scare me, I ain't putting shit on. This is arguably the moment in the film most audiences clamor about. The brawl between Nada and Frank is unlike anything modern audiences had experienced prior. There is no real choreography, no music, no CGI, just a pure fight complete with fists and kicks, weapons and back suplexes. It's not just a pure raw bliss of the quarrel that had movie fans' balls warbling. It was the long, drawn-out nature of the clash that most people remember. When you think it's over, it escalates into further brutish violence, dwindling down to even comical levels. I just love how Nada smashed Frank's rear window and was quickly remorseful over what he just did before finding the humor of it all. The damage progression as the fight went along was something to admire as well, particularly that nasty scrape on the back of Frank's head. These boys beat the fuck out of each other. I know that shit just hurts. The ultimate rug burn. The fight eventually devolved into a sloppy mess involving dirty fighting. Frank was one thrown punch away for a damn near heart attack. Nada places the glasses on Frank's battered face, awakening him to their hidden masters from outer space. Nada has a buddy now.
What's your problem?
They Live is a masterclass infusing horror, action, and social commentary on another level. During the human power elite scene, the speaker at the podium declares that by the year 2025, not only in America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. That line hits so much harder considering the state of our own world in 2024. Holly, revealed to be a collaborator, kills Frank before Nada places a bullet into her himself. Nada says fuck it and rips bullets into the transmitter responsible for keeping the aliens and their messages hidden. Nada himself is riddled with shells dropping to the ground, electricity and sparks engulfing the surrounding area. One final fuck you represented in Nada's middle finger is the perfect ending to encapsulate this masterpiece. They Live is one of Carpenter's best films in my opinion. A power struggle between the poor and the rich isn't anything new in cinema, but what Carpenter managed to envision and place on film is nothing short of brilliant, especially in 1988. It's like Carpenter envisioned where the world was heading while everyone else was asleep. The soundtrack gives off more of a Western vibe considering we are in the West, as compared to his previous work, yet maintains Carpenter's signature style. The horror in They Live doesn't stem from gratuitous violence and pervasive nudity. It is manifest in the form of real-world issues, problems Americans and most of the world can relate to. An enemy controlling us in plain sight, feeding the rich and exploiting the poor. So what's next in the world of They Live after Nada exposed our little foreign friends? What became of the infiltration? Maybe it's best we don't know. Our imagination will always deliver where cinema cannot. One can only imagine the turmoil the world went into. It's fucking scary. Thanks for watching this season of Horror Fiend Drive-In Theater. Be ready for Horror Fiend Drive-In Theater Season 4. Please subscribe and give us a like. You're a horror fiend. I know you want to. Stay scared.
Save you, your family's life. Fuck you.